the types of ways of getting soft insight. And this is Eurostar, okay? As I say, the high-speed train service through the Channel Tunnel. And there's lots of things happening at Eurostar, okay? There's office functions, there's an engineering depot, there's the trains, there's the lounges, there's lots of different things to take care of. But there's two things that most people would know about Eurostar. First of all, the economics are a complete disaster, okay? It's losing lots and lots and lots of money. Secondly, though, on the other side, the good news, which is why I put a nice green box around it, the good news is it's a pretty good service. Customers like it. So you've got a good service, but it's losing lots of money. Lots of people would come to my office to try and persuade me why they were going to be the expert that could solve my problems. You're new, I've only been there 3 months, you're new, let us show you, we can help you with your problem you've got inherited here, we'll show you how we can improve your efficiency, we're the world's biggest cost-saving consultancy, we're this, we're that. And very few of them got anywhere. Very few of them had conversations with me. Why? Because they hadn't really got enough insight yet about my business. And 2 areas of insight that I would counsel you always to think about. Always, please, when it sounds like I'm lecturing here, this is by me learning by getting it wrong. Please remember that, I'm just sharing with you how I learned it. 2 things that I learned that are absolutely critical in any kind of customer insight. The first one is, think of your customer, right? Think of a customer you've got, either an external or an internal, right? How much do you know about your customer's customer? Because that is critical. Think about it. Your behaviour is driven and determined by what you're trying to do for your customer. So your customer's behaviour is going to be determined and driven by what they're trying to do for their customer. So if you understand that, you understand what's driving them. You understand the important things in life to them. And that gives you the opportunity to influence them. So understanding the customer's customer is almost as important as understanding the customer, because then you're understanding what makes them tick. And in my case at Eurostar, it was very simple. Leisure, revenue. Okay? 2 types of traveller. Business traveller on Eurostar, leisure traveller on revenue. Right? On Eurostar. Lots of things can affect profit. Leisure revenue, business revenue, operating cost, fixed cost. There's lots of things going on. But the one thing that mattered was actually leisure revenue. I had high fixed costs. I needed volume and revenue to cover those costs. I couldn't change that. So people that came to talk about making me more efficient, thank you, you might reduce my losses from 206 to 204. Great. I need the dramatic change, and that was only going to come there. So what I said to people was, that's what I need to hear about. So I had a little notice on my office door. I put a little notice on it. I said, if you're not coming in to talk to me about leisure revenue, don't bother knocking. And it was a joke around the office and whatever. But there was a serious point that I was making behind it, which is, this is what's important. That didn't stop people, of course, making up stories to come and see me. I've come to talk to you about leisure revenue, my leisure revenue, and in particular my pay rise that we show everybody. Go on. But leisure revenue is critical. The other one that's really important, and it's one that we sometimes do, we do this better internally normally than we do with external customers, but I'd argue it's just as important with external customers, is this. How well do you actually understand the person? Not just their job, or what they're trying to do, or what their performance indicators are, but the person themselves. Because there are things about the person quite often that give you the clue, give you the hook to go and try and understand them better. In my case, let me tell you about me when I was at Eurostar as chief exec. This is what, if you had come to knock on my door, of course to talk about leisure revenue, what would you have learnt about me? The first one is that my background is in brand management. I'm a marketing person by background, okay? So that means I'm probably not very good on finance, I'm probably not very good on operations, I'm probably not very good on some of the other functions, because they've never been my core. So if you're good at all of those things, maybe you can help me, because you'll be filling a gap in my knowledge. Secondly, I am 50% owned by the UK government, but I've never worked with the government before, okay? I've got to work with senior civil servants for the first time in my entire life. And as you'll know, it's an art, isn't it? It's a skill you have to learn. But I don't have that skill. So maybe you do, maybe you can help me. Thirdly, I'm not a railwayman. I've come from toilet cleaners and airlines, right? So I don't know about the railway industry. Maybe you do, maybe you've got expertise, maybe you can help me. And lastly, this is my first chief executive job. I'm learning the job, okay? So this box here, that grey box, says two things to me. The first thing it says is, how on earth did he get that job? But secondly, what it says is, there's a huge opportunity for people to come and influence me in my business. Massive opportunity if you understand me as much as you understand my business issue. Now, of course, you need to know both. But that's what opens up the door. So personal understanding is really, really important within it. And that's why when I look at customer understanding and customer insight, yes, I look at the particular task or particular